Welcome back to Give Me Credit. I'm John Mackey. You're not. And I am a FICO certified credit educator and industry leader and insider since 1988. I've spent more than 3 decades inside the credit system, from mortgage banking to credit education. And today my focus is very simple: helping people understand how credit scoring, credit reporting, and debt collection actually work. No myths, no marketing gloss, just the mechanics behind the curtain. And what you see next to me is J.S. Waldo, my co-host. I call her the brains behind this operation. J.S. brings a sharp analytical perspective to everything we do. She understands how credit reports are evaluated in the real world and how scoring models translate into lending decisions that affect everyday people. She asks the questions consumers are thinking, and she pushes for clarity when the system gets vague. Welcome, JS. How are you?
I'm good, John. Thank you. How you doing? How's the weather out there?
Well, it's either extremely hot or extremely cold. Right now, we're in the extremely cold area.
Right.
And then in the summertime, we go to friggin' hot. So,
Depending on when you're viewing this, he's either cold or he's hot. Well,
yeah,
I'm in beautiful San Diego. You can see my San Diego hair. It's been raining, so everything just wants to kink up.
yeah, well, we all have our complaints. The only perfect climate I've ever found is in Hawaii. And average highs in the winter are 80, and the average highs in the summer are 85. Can't get much better than that, but
You
the cost of living is too expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Then there's that. So we always will have something to complain about.
Oh, absolutely. And knowing me, that's all I do is complain. But, you know, before we get into this about Credit Karma, I want to declare this, and I've got some great news for the audience. And, as you know, my lane is credit scoring, and debt collections. On one of the next upcoming podcasts, we will be interviewing and picking the brain of a Fair Credit Reporting Act, they call them FCRA, attorneys that works in the field of defending consumers that have had their rights violated by debt collectors and creditors. I will be advertising this in the next couple of weeks, so you know exactly when he is on. He is one of the foremost authorities on this topic. And for now, I'm not going to tell you who this person is, but he's been in the business a long time.
Yep.
And he's very youthful looking. I'm surprised. And I can't tell you how excited I am. I'm almost giddy, and I never get giddy. We are going to be talking to someone that pokes the bear, and I love to poke the bear. Today, we're going to be talking about the infamous Credit Karma.
Credit karma.
Credit Karma, or as I like to call it, credit trauma. It's where the truth is buried deep and the tease is the number.
Yeah.
And, Credit Karma turned confusion, which we did have back then, into credit card debt. That's their goal. And I'm going to ask JS to start asking some questions about Credit Karma.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite topics.
Yeah.
We both have some very, very strong opinions about Credit Karma because we understand Credit Karma. So let's get into this, John.
Yep.
When did Credit Karma start, and what was its defining philosophy?
Yeah. All right. So look, we should separate mythology from positioning. Credit Karma launched in about 2007. So that's what, 18 years ago? Am my math is right? Its defining philosophy, at least publicly, was simple and powerful. Free credit scores for everyone. That was the banner. But underneath that banner, the early philosophy had 3 core pillars. At the time, credit scores weren't easily accessible. You either paid for them or got surprised by them. Now, Credit Karma positioned itself as a transparency agent. and a movement. Democratize access, show people their score anytime, and remove the mystery around credit. The framing was empowerment. In other words, if you can see it, you can control it, and that was the hook. But let's separate mythology from positioning. When Credit Karma launched in 2007, its defining philosophy was, as I stated, free scores for everyone. That was the banner.
Yeah, but there was more to it, right? Because what changed when Credit Karma launched with, do you know your credit score? That was the big thing. Do you know your credit score?
Yeah, well, what they weaponized was curiosity. I've gone back to about 1995 in the evaluation of credit scoring when it first started. But before that slogan, credit was bureaucratic and, to be quite honest, boring. Yet after that slogan, it became gamified, personal, emotional, trackable, addictive. They didn't democratize credit, they monetized anxiety.
Do you think giving people free access to their score was a good thing?
No, it would have been had it been the truth, but it was a totally different scoring system.
Mhm.
I wrote something just recently about this. Here we got a credit score or a score. So the Minnesota Vikings beat the New York Yankees 14 to 10. Well, how can you compare the two? You can't. And then their scoring model topped out at 990, where FICO's topped out at 850. Now, it was bait.
Mhm.
If you give someone a number without teaching them how it's calculated, which model matters, or when it matters, that's not education. They're playing with you. That's stimulation.
Yeah. You said the score wasn't the product. Let's explain that.
Sure, the score was the hook, gets you to sign up. The product was your attention, your behavioral data, your credit appetite, your likelihood to apply. And they put this all into X's and O's. That stuff they can monetize. What they did was they built a pipeline for banks. You weren't the customer, you were the inventory.
Yeah, it's brilliant, really. Why was the question, though, psychological manipulation?
Because it activated insecurity. Do you know your credit score? Implies if you don't know, you're responsible. If you do know, you should monitor it. If it changes, you should react. That's not literacy. That's conditioning.
Yeah, that's so true. So, are there multiple credit scores?
Oh, you don't know.
Hmm.
You don't know. There are over 100. But Credit Karma didn't lead with, there are many scoring models and mortgage lenders use different ones. No, they didn't lead with that. They led with, here's your score. So everybody assumes that that's what their score was, even though, depending upon what you buy, it's different.
Hmm.
So that distinction matters.
It does matter. It matters a lot. Why does, and that leads to the next question, why does Vantage Score versus FICO matter?
Well, I've got personal experience with this within the customer base that I was working with at the time.
Mhm.
Mortgage lenders use FICO versions. So when someone thinks that they're a 720 borrower because of what they see online, and 720 is used to be the basic cutoff for what we called A paper or
Mhm.
conventional financing.
Mhm.
And they walk into underwriting and they get priced like it's a 684. That's not harmless. That's misinformation with consequences.
Yes, it
And a lot of people fell for it.
yep, directly affects them 100%. Do you think consumers understand that difference?
No, not at all. Not at all. And that's where the confusion was. Ask how many uh, loan officers had to explain to their customer, the difference. Just because you've got a score on Credit Karma does not equate with your FICO 3 or 2, 4, and 5 scores.
Mhm.
It's totally different.
Yeah, and as you've said before, that confusion wasn't accidental, right?
No, no, I don't believe it was. Now they would never say that, but when
Right.
you take a look at the data and the information, this was totally played out right by them, right in the sense of it was a master's degree in marketing.
Right.
And marketing, um, forgive me for saying this, it's all about manipulation. It's all about getting you to buy something that you don't necessarily need at the time.
Exactly. So, we've talked about this before. That confusion keeps the engagement high. The
Right.
engagement drives applications. The applications drive affiliate payouts. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but it does lead me to another question. Was this a design issue or a design choice? And let me
I believe
rephrase
it
that.
was design choice.
Yeah, it was a choice.
If Clarity reduces revenue, Clarity won't be prioritized. Why should it? Because
Yeah,
it hurts their income. And it's all about the money you make. It's a
exactly.
business. It's not about the
Exactly.
truth.
So how does Credit Karma make money? Let's talk about that.
Oh boy.
Mhm.
I got no trouble with making money. I want money. I like money. Money
Mhm.
buys me things.
Mhm.
But credit card affiliate commissions is how they get paid. Personal loan commissions, auto refinance commissions. They don't make money through education or counseling or coaching. They get paid when you, the consumer, get approved.
Yeah, so let's delve into that. A lot of people don't understand what are affiliate payouts typically.
Well, affiliates, uh, what Credit Karma itself is selling credit cards, and that's the majority of their business.
Mhm.
And roughly it's between $50 to $250 or more per credit card approval. That's what they make and what they receive from the credit card companies. Now, sometimes it's even higher for premium products, and personal loans can pay even more. Now, if you do the math, if millions apply, that's a debt distribution machine.
Oh man, that's like you said, that is marketing genius. How does that, if you really think about it, how does that shape the platform itself?
As a company, when your revenue depends upon approvals, what you do is you design urgency alerts, pre-qualified badges, score movement notifications, targeted offers. So you don't design long-term debt minimization. You don't design application restraint. You don't design warnings about overextension. That's all on you, the consumer, because restraint doesn't monetize.
So is this education?
No. Education sometimes tells you do nothing. Funnels, which is what they are, never
Mhm.
tell you that.
It's a
And
great
they
word for
want you
it.
to keep on coming back and
Yeah.
getting another card, or telling you that, if you get one more card, you're going to increase your credit utilization.
What happens then because they are telling you a score, what happens when someone sees their score drop?
Oh, typically they panic. They'll tease you with that. Something happened to your credit score. Come check Credit Karma. Then they'll
Mhm.
sell you another credit card. They don't call a CFPB hotline. That's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Mhm.
They click.
So anxiety, do you think the anxiety drives applications?
Absolutely. Emotional activation shortens decision time, and short decision time increases conversion rates. The faster you get that card, the faster you can get that credit card. And then they'll sell you debt consolidation loans.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's incredulous.
Yeah, you use the word funnel. I love that word. I think it's a very good analogy. If you picture a funnel, it feeds in. You've also said that education doesn't have funnels. Can you explain that?
Sure. Education works even if you close the browser and walk away. You take it with you if you learn. But funnels depend upon momentum. In other words, you keep on coming back, buying more, buying more, buying more. Momentum towards borrowing.
Do you think if they said up front, we make money when you open credit cards, do you think people would object? Would you object?
Less transparency changes the ethical equation, but they led with empowerment language while operating as a commission-based lead generator.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
Yeah, it is. That's a big problem. Do you think Credit Karma, do you think they caused the explosion of credit card debt, which we know is huge right now?
Yeah, they didn't invent credit cards, but they absolutely normalized constant credit engagement. They made checking your credit score as common as checking the weather. And when checking becomes routine, offers become routine. They tease you with emails that say your credit score has changed, like I said before. Then they tell you to come on back, keep on checking, keep on checking. And when offers become routine, borrowing becomes routine. And routine is not good.
Did they accelerate borrowing behavior then?
Yes.
Mhm.
When you combine real-time score monitoring, targeted product matching, approval odds framing, and frictionless applications, you don't create literacy. You create activation. And please remember that one of the founding thoughts of this company when it started was that they wanted to create credit education for the consumer.
Mm-hmm. So did they turn monitoring into activation instead?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Credit monitoring used to mean watch for fraud. Now it means here's what you qualify for today.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing.
Not at all. Not at all. And that's, part of the big problem, unfortunately.
Yes, it is. It totally is.
Yeah, so this is a huge topic that so many people don't understand. And you've written a couple articles about this recently. I just loved those articles. John, thank you for doing that. And again, I want to invite everybody to follow John on his Substack. And I also have a Substack, JS Waldo. This topic is a big one. I have talked to so many consumers that say, well, this is my score. Well, where'd you get that score? Credit Karma. That's not your score. Where can they get their true credit report, John?
Their real credit report without scores is going to be annualcreditreport.com. And I'm going to reemphasize that even though you don't get a credit score through them, what's so important is that you get all of your credit reporting agencies, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, where you do not get that on Credit Karma. You only get Equifax and TransUnion. There's a story that goes there. I won't talk about it now. We'll talk about it next time. But what it does do is that it allows you to take a look at what they call the soft pulls. And those soft pulls are indicative of who's looking at you. It could be a creditor. It could be a debt collector. It could be someone looking to sue you. It could be a lot of things. They'll tell you what they're checking. Are they checking which bureau? I find that invaluable when I'm evaluating credit reports. That's the important thing. So that's where I go.
And the point that we want you to understand is that Credit Karma is a funnel. They're just collecting your data. They're selling it. They're making millions of dollars.
As we will get into
Mhm.
in the next series and what I've just posted on Reels, they made last year 1.7 billion.
Wow.
Just Credit Karma.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, we're going to close out today. John, thank you for this topic. I love this topic. We're going to talk more. And I'm excited about the attorney as well, the FCRA attorney. So that's going to be
like I said, I'm giddy.
Yeah,
I'm too
that's
old
gonna
to get giddy,
Yeah.
but I'm giddy.
Well, that is so good. It's just going to be great. I'm getting too. Oh my gosh, I love having a guest as well. So much
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Again, you can you can subscribe. We invite you to ask us questions in the comments. We answer every single last one of them. You can also just direct message either of us. We always answer. Thank you again, John, and we will see you next time.
Yeah. Have a good day, guys. Remember
Bye.
to stay tall. Stand tall, guys.
Right.